green side, actually, the colors don't matter because of the patch. They kind of got mixed up again. But MiTH.Front mission down or up north. No, actually,
to the south.
Yeah, they're south.
Yeah, to the south. Their opponents, UAD to the north, and well, just like Andy and I had said during the break, yeah, a pair of 1390s on both sides. Now, what changes once again is those medium tanks. So you've got RTA, well, just Front Mission, formerly known as RTA, decided to roll out with a pair of T69s and a T32, whereas their opponents with 3 heavy tanks strong, a pair of T32s and an IS-3.
Yeah, so a lot more fire. Actually, the firepower-wise, they're pretty even, but definitely URDead have a more tanky and more hit point-based team.
Yeah, I do like the aggressive approach by Front Mission though, because you know those T69s have those autoloaders as well, so it's not like the Pershing per se. And the thing is, they didn't take a 5100; they added that T32 as well, so they're not really just training that far behind in terms of sheer firepower, as you mentioned. The T69s have to be really careful not to take too much damage earlier on.
Yeah.
But I think as long as they're pretty careful and just try to create a stalemate situation, those autoloaders might actually give them the advantage in the long run.
And these teams are actually not that far away from each other.
They're really not.
Yeah, MiTH.Front mission actually went for the eastern part of the map, so they're around the center part, more around the village and behind the village, whereas URDead, they're right on the other side of the railway.
Yeah, indeed, it's a classic east and west split. Now, what surprises me with UAD is that they've got 2 tanks like all the way to the west road, and they're really far away.
Way down south.
Yeah,
too.
that's probably a T1, but I'm pretty sure that those 1390s are like actually just way off to the west, and I'm not sure that's very effective, as a matter of fact. I think, yeah, they should draw closer towards the railroad, because that's obviously where the front line actually is.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, neither team can cross the railway, because the second they do, they'll come out of cover.
Oh, they're gonna
and they'll pretty much die.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So those 1390s on the URDead side, over there on the west, kind of southwestern corner, even though they won't be as useful if a firefight comes to happen, but at least they're moving around, and at least they're using mobility to clear the map and try and get more vision and get more map control.
And speaking of which, Onionhead got the first kill, like with his 1390 taking out a T1.
They traded actually, right
yeah,
there.
they did trade. Nocnoya was taken down as well, so pretty much, yeah, it's pretty even. T1 lost on each side, but yeah, once again, UAD just kind of, well, now they're retreating. The 1390s, after taking the T1, they left their remaining T1 down to the base, and the 1390s have now actually retreated up north as well. So they just, I guess, like they just wanted to look at the southern base,
and they just wanted to clear out that area just to make sure that the enemy team, that they just wanted to make sure that MiTH.Front mission had no vision down there, just in case they want to go down that path. You know, it's just another option for them that they have in their belt. And
kind of funny because Front Mission did exactly the same thing up north.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, with that other T1. So yeah, it's just an equal trade in all meanings of the term.
Yeah, it's very mirrored right now. I mean, even the positioning, and neither team has even landed significant damage as well.
Yeah, on the tier 8s at least, that's pretty much the case. But like you said, it's still very dangerous. Like to even try to get a peek beyond that railroad, as soon as you just put your nose out there, you're gonna get cut in half once again. So. It's just and once like some typical positioning coming from Front Mission to the east. As a matter of fact, they probably placed like their one of those 1390s up the hilltop down south as well for some sniping action.
Yeah, top actually firing a shot into the blind. I don't know if that actually hit anybody on the URDead side, but yeah, top over here in the north kind of part of the railway, really trying to throw down and get some more angles onto those URDead members. At this point, you can't go head-on. If you engage head-on, whoever engages is going to be the one who loses that team fight, just due to the fact that you're the one coming out of cover and the other team has to just kind of sit there and fire upon you. So I like what these AMX-13s are doing, but and even though they have to do more for this match to go either way, it's still risky. It's still so incredibly risky that they're not.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and of course, I mean, like, yeah, they do have the speed and the mobility, but if they take even a single shot from one of those T32s, then it's just like a third of your hit points is gone.
Yeah, and actually, we've seen so many times where games
a 1390 gets trapped
exactly
early on.
That has just been decided by one of those.
Indeed, and that's typically you cannot afford to lose one of those, especially not on this map, because there's just going to be a disadvantage you will not be able to overcome, not at this level at least. So Once again, very careful play from both teams, but then again, like this is a classic East and West separation, sort of. We've seen that time and time again.
Oh, Calliope starting to take damage right here, down to about 850 health.
Yeah, he took like 2 great shots, one from Legacy Jana, who did take a bit of splash damage, but who's quite healthy still, so yeah, bit of an advantage, yeah, on that one.
Honestly, I have to say, whichever team loses the tank first is most likely going to lose, just due to the fact that usually when we have situations where teams don't really engage each other and it's a very kind of stalemate situation, most times we usually just see whoever takes out that one initial tank win first.
I think UAD's crossing. Yeah, UAD's crossed. Onion Head is crossed. Oh yeah, but Onion Head's getting punished.
Onion Head's in trouble.
Like Andy said, like we said, as soon as you cross, you're gonna cut in half. Once again, like yeah, the tank up the hill, like doing extreme damage.
Calliope actually going down first though.
Yeah,
so
but Onion Head's gonna follow. Onion Head is down, so now we're even. Although yeah, the T32 versus like a 1390, that's a good trade.
Yeah, URDead do have the extra T32, so they do have overall more hit
look
points.
at that, Legacy Jana.
Yeah, Legacy Jana is getting focused down though.
He's down. He went down.
Yeah, he goes down. Yeah, great defending job from MiTH.Front mission. And yeah, like I said, whoever crosses that railway is gonna be, you know, in a lot of trouble because you have no more cover.
A little bit reckless from Onion Head. He didn't have to do that, especially because they had the early advantage.
Actually, it still might be a little bit too early to call because they do tie up again.
They do trade, but the thing is, like UAD did have an overwhelming advantage early on.
Panda's in trouble right now. If Panda goes down here, then URDead are going to have a huge advantage right now.
It's a 2v1, and Panda is all alone out there.
I actually think URDead are going to take this because the other two, other than Panda, the other two tanks on MiTH.Front mission are only AMX-13s, and against an IS-3 and a T-32, it's going to be extremely hard for these two AMX-13s to even dent these guys here. Look at Ripper already down to about half health. His partner over there top
is always like, you know, he still has like a decent amount of hit points as well. This is clearly a win for UAD.
Yeah, URDead doing a great job. They realized actually that even though they came out of cover and even though they were kind of giving up their position, they had the extra hit points. They had the tanky front line that could take the initial damage and you know, kind of survive long enough to kind of go past the initial onslaught. And then once that initial onslaught happened, it was just an easy win for those heavy tanks.
Indeed, and special mention to Black Hawk, who totaled 3 kills alone, and all heavy tanks as well. I mean, like a great finishing job from the man and his T-32, and now yeah, off-spin Hades doing a bit of sightseeing, I suppose.
Yeah, I really don't know what he's trying to do here.
Yeah, he's just taking a trip to the woods, mate. There you go. But yeah, once again, you know, I think UAD obviously just did have the advantage throughout the set, but